Good morning, everyone. So in this lecture, I'm going to explain about acoustics. So which is the study of sound, which is mostly used in architecture acoustics in the construction of buildings where the audience can receive best quality of sound. So acoustics is the branch of physics that deals with the production, control, transmission, reception, and effects of sound is known as acoustics. So here, this is a branch of physics, so which deals with the generation of sound waves and how they can be controlled in order to make them hear perfectly, and how they travel and how these are received by the receiver. So for example, the human ear. So all these effects can be studied with the help of acoustics. So architecture acoustics, also known as acoustics of buildings, so deals with the behavior of sound waves in a closed space. So here architectural acoustics helpful in the construction of various buildings. Okay, so which deals with the behavior of the sound inside a closed space. So closed space is nothing but the space which is closed in all sides. So it will have four sides of walls which is covered with roof at the top. So it deals with the design and construction of acoustically good buildings, music halls, recording rooms, and movie theaters, so where the audience receives the best quality of sound. So here architectural acoustics is very helpful in the construction of various places, so which are mostly used for music and movies. So here it is very important to deliver the best quality of sound in order to make the audience receive the best quality of sound. So because if the quality of sound is not good, so the audience will be in confusion. They will not be able to understand so what is happening inside the theater or what kind of music uh, are they going to listen in particular hall. So in order to study about acoustics, first it is necessary to learn few concepts of sound. So sound is nothing but a form of energy, so which makes us hear. That means it creates a sensation of hearing in living beings. So generally it travels in the form of wave. Like the light does, sound also travels in the form of waves. So sound is generally produced by an object which is in vibration. So whenever any object is in vibration, then only it is able to produce the sound. So if there is no vibration in any particular object, so then that instrument or that material is unable to produce the sound. For example, in order to listen to the sound, so one must produce a sound. For example, I am talking to you. So I need to produce the sound with the help of my vocal cords. So similarly, whenever this sound is produced from my mouth, so you are able to hear it with the help of your ears. So your ears will be able to receive the sound that is produced by the different voices. So here the sound waves are nothing but longitudinal waves. So as we discussed that these sound waves will travel in the form of waves. So but the kind of behavior of these waves is nothing but longitudinal waves. That means whenever the sound is moving, so the particles of the medium vibrate parallel to the direction of the motion of the sound. So when the particles vibrate parallel to the direction of propagation of sound, such kind of waves are known as longitudinal waves. So these longitudinal waves consist of alternate compressions and rarefactions, which are set up by the vibrating body. So this you can observe in this figure. So whenever sound is produced by the vibrating music system which is shown here. So then these vibrations create some kind of disturbance in the space nearby. So this disturbance is carried by each particle of the medium present around it. So these sound waves will travel all directions by transferring the energy from one particle to the another particle. So during that time, these vibrations set up some kind of pressure in the nearby space. Whenever that pressure is more, then the particles of the medium will come very closer, which is known as compression. So whenever this pressure is low, then particles of the medium will move apart, so which is known as rarefaction. So like that, each and every sound wave is nothing but a longitudinal wave, so which travels with alternate compressions and rarefactions. So these travel in all different directions and they are received by different receptors such as human ear. So these sound waves transmit or travel in all different directions through any kind of medium. So that medium can be either solid, liquid or gas. So here sound cannot travel by vacuum. So here in order to sound wave to travel, so it requires a medium. So without the medium, it is unable to travel. So it cannot travel through the vacuum. So that is why sound waves are also known as mechanical waves, because they require medium for their propagation. And coming to the speed at which they can travel in different media, so generally the speed of sound waves is higher in solids and lesser in gases. So generally the average sound travels in air at ordinary temperatures and pressure with a speed of 340 meters per second. That means sound travels with less speed in air. So coming to the, whenever you compare this speed with light, so light travels at greater speed than the sound. So this one you can observe in case of thunders and lightning. So whenever there is lightning, so you first see the light. After that you are able to see the, after that you are able to hear the sound. That means here the sound travels at lesser speed than the light. So that is why light travels faster than the sound. So first we are able to see the light and then we are able to hear the thunder clearly. So compared to the speed of light, okay, so speed of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, whereas the speed of sound is only 340 meter per second. So in order to study the quality of sound, it is necessary to know the general properties of sound. So those are nothing but wavelength, period, frequency, velocity, amplitude, pitch, intensity and loudness. So these are a few physical properties of sound which describes the quality of sound. So here the wavelength is nothing but the distance between two adjacent peaks. That means the distance between compression and rarefaction, or two compressions or two rarefactions, is nothing but the wavelength. So here period is nothing but the time period, so which defines the time taken by the wave to complete one cycle. So that means the time taken by the wave to complete one compression and rarefaction in case of longitudinal waves is nothing but the time period. And frequency is nothing but the number of vibrations per 1 second. So how many such compressions and rarefactions will exist for 1 second is generally given by frequency. And velocity is nothing but the rate at which the sound wave will propagate in different media. So it is generally found with the help of wavelength and a time period. That means the ratio of wavelength to the time period is nothing but the velocity. So amplitude is nothing but the maximum distance from the mean position of the wave. So here this amplitude generally describes the height of the wave. So if the height of the wave is more, so the sound is louder. That means if the amplitude is more, we can hear the larger sound. So if the amplitude is less, we can hear the less sound. So next coming to the pitch. So pitch also describes the amount of highness or lowness of a sound. So this pitch is generally related to the frequency. So whenever there are fast number of vibrations, that means rapid vibrations are present in a sound wave, then it will have high pitch. So if the vibrations are slow, then it will have low pitch. So another physical property is nothing but intensity. So intensity is the power of sound energy per unit surface area. So in a particular unit surface area, what is the sound energy carried by particular sound wave is generally represented with the help of intensity. And next coming to the loudness. So loudness is also related to the intensity. So loudness is the generally property that helps to analyze the auditory sensation by the living beings. Means how much of voice, how much of sound we are going to listen is generally described by loudness. So intensity and loudness are directly proportional. So loudness is directly proportional to the logarithmic value of intensity. So that means if the intensity is more, loudness is more. So this kind of loud uh, sounds can damage the hearing capacity. That means it is dangerous to the person's ears. So if the intensity is small, then the loudness is small. So next we are going to discuss about the behavior of sound in an enclosure. That means whenever sound is propagating inside a closed space, so how it is going to behave. So here the materials for enclosure may be classified into two. So those are one that allow the sound rays to pass through them, and another one is the medium which doesn't allow the sound rays to pass through them. So here, if any closed space allow the sound rays to pass through them, then that hall or that room will have better sound quality rather than which do not allow the sound rays to pass through them. So here, whenever these sound waves encounter different kinds of barriers present in the rooms or halls, so then the sound waves may undergo any of these phenomena. So that means whenever sound waves strike different objects, different components present inside a hall or room, for example like ceiling, floor, walls, furniture, etc. So any of these processes may occur. So those are nothing but reflection, absorption, refraction, diffusion, diffraction and transmission. So reflection. So reflection is nothing but coming back the incident ray into the same medium. So whenever a sound ray is incident on barrier like wall, so it will come back into the same medium. That is known as reflection. So this reflection will take place whenever the wavelength of sound wave is very smaller than the surface of an barrier or obstacle. So in such case, sound waves will undergo different reflections until the sound energy is reduces to zero. So another process is absorption. So whenever sound rays are incident on barriers, so some amount of the energy is absorbed by the particles present in the barrier. So here this sound energy is transferred to the frictional resistance present inside the pores of material. That means here the sound energy is going to be converted into heat energy due to the friction present inside the material. So and the sound energy is lost. So here the amount of sound energy that is being lost is generally taken by the material in the form of heat. So here this is known as absorption. So another process is nothing but refraction. So refraction is the process where the sound wave bends at the corner of a barrier. So we know that whenever sound wave is incident on barrier, so it is going to bend at the corner and enters the other surface of the barrier. So here it will happen due to non-uniform composition of the material. That means if the wall or any barrier is composed by different materials, so then there is a chance of bending of the sound wave at the point where it is going to be incident. So another process is nothing but diffusion. So diffusion is nothing but whenever sound wave is going to incident on one surface, so it will scatter in different directions. That means, so the point where it is going to be incident, due to its non-uniform structure and the texture and hardness of the obstacle, so the spreading of this sound wave in different directions is nothing but the scattering of waves. So this will happen only in case of the wavelength of the sound is same to the size of the barrier. So another process is nothing but diffraction. So diffraction is a process where the incident sound ray is going to bend at the corners of the barrier. So here in case of diffraction, so the barrier where it is going to bend, so will act like a source of sound energy. So this will also happen whenever the wavelength of sound is smaller or equal to the size of the obstacle. And another process is transmission. So in case of transmission, the sound wave is going to be safely transmitted through the material, and it is handed over to the other side of the surface. So here if you look at this diagram, so the incident rays which are incident on the barrier, so some amount of the sound rays will come back into the same medium as reflected sound rays, and the remaining incident rays are going to be handed over to the particles present in the material. So these materials carry the sound waves to the other side of the surface safely. So which you can see at the other side as transmitted sound waves. So another important property of acoustics is nothing but reverberation. So it determines the better quality of sound inside a closed hall or any room, any place. So here reverberation is nothing but the persistence of sound in an enclosed space as a result of continuous reflection or scattering of sound after the source has stopped. So here if you observe this figure, so the person is going to generate some sound. So this is directly transferred to the listeners. Including to that, so this sound produced by the person is going to incident on different surfaces present inside a closed hall. So those surfaces can be ceiling, floor, walls, furniture. So any other surfaces which are present inside a closed hall. So here the incident sound rays on different surfaces undergo multiple reflections. So they come back and received by the listeners again. So due to this multiple reflections, so though the person has stopped talking and stopped producing the sound, so the listeners are able to hear some amount of sound. So this kind of process is nothing but reverberation. So here this reverberation causes confusion among the listeners. So due to multiple reflections of the sound waves, and there is no clarity of sound in case of reverberation. So that is why it is necessary to reduce amount of reflections. That means it is necessary to reduce the reverberation. So here, in order to lose the sound intensity, its intensity level, to reduced value. So there is some time required for it to happen. So here the time taken by the sound intensity to fall to 1 billionth of its initial intensity. So is nothing but the reverberation time. So that means in order to make reverberation very less value, so it requires some time. So whenever it is necessary to lose its intensity level when it is compared to the initial intensity level. So here the time required for the sound level to decrease to the minimum value compared to the initial intensity is known as reverberation time. So it is necessary to maintain optimum reverberation time inside any hall such that we are able to hear what's happening inside that hall. So we can measure the amount of intensity level so to maintain optimum reverberation rate. So with the help of these expressions, so if initial sound level is Li and final sound level is Lf and the reference intensity level is I0, so we are able to measure the initial loudness with the expression Li equal to 10 log I0 by I. So here I0 is the reference level with which we are comparing the original sound intensity I. And Lf is the final loudness, so where the intensity has been reduced to the minimum audible level. So Lf equal to 10 log If by I. So we need to find out the difference between these two sound levels, so which give us the value of reverberation. So Li minus Lf equal to 10 log I0 by I minus 10 log If by I. So as per the logarithmic properties, so we can write this expression like Li minus Lf equal to 10 log I0 by If. So we know that, so the time required for sound waves to lose their intensity to 1 million value is nothing but the reverberation time. So here If by I0 equal to 1 by 10 power 6. So where the intensity has been reduced to the minimum level. So Li minus Lf equal to 10 log 10 power 6. So we are going to bring that 6. So 6 into 10. So log base 10 into 10. So we are going to get as 1. So 10 into 6 is nothing but the 60 decibels. So here the reverberation time is the time required, so in which the intensity of sound level is reduced by 60 decibels. That means whenever the initial intensity will lose 60 decibels, it will become inaudible. So after the source has been turned off. So another concept is nothing but Sabin's formula for reverberation time. So this is the formula given by the scientist Sabin. So which relates the reverberation time with the other factors such as volume of the hall and total absorbing capacity of the hall. So here, according to Sabin's law, the reverberation time T in seconds is generally expressed as T equal to 0.16 V by A. So here V is the volume of the hall in meter cube and A is the total absorbing power of all surfaces in a hall in meter square. So we can calculate the total amount of absorbing power, so with the help of expression given here. So A equal to sigma alpha I into SI. So here SI represents the surface areas of different absorbing regions and alpha I is the sound absorbing coefficient of these surfaces. That means whenever different surfaces are present inside a closed room like ceiling, floor, curtains, furniture, cushions. So any kind of surface, so they will have some amount of absorption present with them. So they are able to absorb some amount of sound energy that has incident on them. So if we consider the absorption coefficients of different surfaces as alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 and so on, and the areas of that surfaces as S1, S2, S3 and so on. So by multiplying their absorption coefficient by their surface areas and adding them together, so we are able to find out what is the total absorbing power of that hall. So here this reverberation time is directly proportional to volume of the hall. That means if the volume of the hall increases, then the reverberation time is going to be increased. But it is inversely proportional to the absorbing coefficients. Similarly, it is inversely proportional to the area of the absorbing surfaces. That means whenever we are going to increase absorbing coefficient or the surface area of that surfaces, then we are able to control the reverberation time. So it is necessary to keep the reverberation time within limits. So if the limit is extended or if the limit is decreased, so then the acoustics of the building is going to be spoiled. So in order to make reverberation time in the optimum level, so we need to consider these factors such as volume or size of the hall as well as the different kinds of absorbing materials present inside the hall. So coming to the concept of absorption coefficient. So absorption coefficient is a measure that describes us what is the performance of material while it is absorbing. So how much sound energy is absorbed by particular material is generally defined by absorption coefficient. So generally it is find with the help of formula absorption coefficient equal to alpha equal to E by E naught. So here it is the ratio of sound energy absorbed by the material to that of total sound energy incident on the surface of the material. So whenever sound energy is fallen on different types of surfaces present inside a hall, so as we have discussed previously, those are able to absorb some quantity of the sound waves. So here that capacity is described with the help of absorption coefficient. So it is the ratio of sound energy absorbed by the material to total sound energy incident on that material. So the general unit of sound absorption is open window unit or SAVIN, because open window is considered as ideal absorber of sound waves. So this is generally taken as the unit. So it is necessary to maintain limited number of windows inside a hall in order to make the reverberation time within the limits. So that is why open window unit is taken as the unit for absorption coefficient.